Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in this session about SAFe and Obeya. And as we see it, it can be a real game changer in your strategy execution.
My name is Bertus. I currently work for Aegon as an Agile coach, and I was a former release train engineer.
I'm Ron van Vliet. I still work as a release train engineer within Aegon. As a release train engineer, we started to use Obeya within our SAFe way of working within our trains. And that's what we're going to tell more about.
I think it started in 2019. Aegon started working with the skilled Agile Framework in order to make their strategic planning that was happening via the PI planning. And it's a quarterly delivery planning you do with your train and the whole organization within Aegon. And suddenly in 2020, you might remember it, COVID came along. And we as a release train engineer, we were responsible for organizing the PI planning. And suddenly we needed to do it online. So that was the first challenge. And secondly, what was already there is we had some flow problems that were preventing us from executing our strategy. And we found the solution in combining SAFe and Aegon.
About a year ago, we used SAFe at Aegon. We changed the SAFe methodology a bit. And nowadays, maybe you've heard of it, but Aegon NL is bought by ASR. So we're in the middle of a merger right now. So, but a year ago, we had like 11 release trains. 6 of them were value streams, so delivering commercial services to our customers, and 5 trains were enabling business services, and we were part of one of those 5 enabling business services trains. They delivered IT for IT services for the value streams, and in those 11 trains we had like 80 agile teams. Approximately 1,000 colleagues were working in those teams, and the SAFe at Aegon part mainly consisted of that we did a shift left. So we try to get the staff departments like security and privacy and architecture to get them involved early on in development of our initiatives. So they started really at the beginning of those initiatives delivering their requirements. And one thing maybe to add is that we deliver like 250 features each quarter. So that's about the context of SAFe at Aegon.
Yeah.
I think everybody can agree with that, that an effective strategy execution is crucial for modern organizations. Of course, that's I think everybody recognizes that. And that's to obtain competitive advantages and achieve business objectives. SAFe is a structured approach for scaling agile practices at enterprise level. It's mostly about let teams working together, manage dependencies, and making sure that stuff gets delivered after a couple of sprints. Within Obeya, we practice visual management. It's about transparency and enhancing collaboration. And of course, it's very important that we connect strategy to execution with Obeya. And we started to practice Obeya within our SAFe way of working. And what we achieved with it was that we were able to reduce the amount of email that we received by 50%. And we also had 50% less meetings, less reports, and less escalations. So it really helped us in performing better.
I will tell more about the first success factor that we learned. That's about the visualization of the entire system. It's not that you wake up as an RT and think, okay, I need to visualize the whole system, but it started gradually because the first challenge we faced, as we told in the beginning, was, okay, we need to organize a PI. But secondly, we encountered flow problems. And the flow problems were mainly in the area of the operations work. Here within Aegon, big financial company, there were like 7 to 8 backlogs just for the operational work. So it was really hard to get an overview of the work that came to us as a train or team. By that, we underestimated the amount of work that needed to be done. And within this organization, there's a lot of risk management and control management. So a lot of meetings, escalations, which are mostly unforeseen. So that had a negative impact on our PI delivery plan. And since we had the tool Obeya, it was the place where we could make those flow problems visual. And we started to put things on the wall, just board by board, which is very handy in Obeya. But then there were a lot of boards. There were boards like everywhere. And people started asking a question, but how does this all relate? And we have action items over there, and we have action items over there. And then via the Obeya Association, I stumbled into the Leading with Obeya method, which provided an unstructured way of visualizing your Obeya. So there are 4 columns, and you start on the left with your strategic direction with your North Star. In SAFe, it's called solution vision and your strategic teams or strategic capabilities. Next to that is your performance column. So that tells something, okay, how well are you doing in achieving your purpose and your strategic capabilities. If you're not meeting your ambition on your indicators, you can do a structured problem solving or do a deep dive on your flow problems. So you can use a Toyota Kata over there. And on the right side, there's a program board. It's called a planning board now in SAFe, in the new SAFe. And you can visualize your improvement. So this helped us by applying 2 SAFe principles. Namely, the first one is principle number 2 is apply system thinking. That's what we did. We started to visualize the whole system. And secondly, we started to apply principle number 6, that is create value flow without interruptions. So how do we solve the interruptions? Now, by visualizing the flow problems, we created awareness. And since we created awareness, people could easily think along about solutions, how to solve the problem at hand, but also think, okay, how can we prevent this? Does it help me as well go from firefighting to more structured continuous improvement? It improved the collaboration, and we learned that it was, but if we look at this overview, it's like run, change, and transformation in one board. And if you would like summarize it, that there is one board to rule them all.
Yes, yes.
So that's success factor number 1.
Number 2, that's about linking delivery and performance to strategy. So within SAFe, we have the measure and grow metrics. And of course, we have the planning board, in which you can see all the features which are in progress and which get delivered. But they are not connected. And the good thing about Obeya is that we can connect those 2 together. We have the solution vision, the strategic direction on the left. We can see the metrics to see how we are performing towards our strategic goals. And the work which is being carried out in the train is directly connected to the strategic vision and to the metrics. And you can see the board in the right top. That's a real board, real-time board we are using right now in our trains in Aegon. And you can see the different lanes, and the lanes represent strategic capabilities we use. And per lane, you can see the metrics, how we are progressing towards our strategic goals. And on the right side, in the green part, you can see the work what's being carried out within those strategic capabilities, which should help us getting to our goals. With Obeya, we connect the work what's being carried out in our trains directly to our strategy execution. And as you can imagine, that helps in improving your strategy execution, because everybody in the train can see the work what they are doing, how that is connected to reaching our strategy. And also because we monitor it closely, we update the metrics bi-weekly. We can also steer and make adjustment if needed, if we are not going into the right direction and we see the metrics deviating from what we want to achieve. We can start doing other things to make sure that we are moving into the right direction again. In this sense, by connecting the work what's being carried out in the train directly to the strategic goals, of course, Obeya can help in increasing your strategy execution.
Yeah, it really helps to create a shared understanding of all these topics. So now we have this one board to rule them all, but we also learned it didn't really solve the flow problems yet. So in SAFe, there's an ArtSync meeting, and we learned that a lot of the control management and risk mitigation were the main topics in those ArtSync. And it prevented us from zooming out and checking, okay, are we doing the right things? So inspired by the Leading with Obeya method, we divided and added extra meetings. So we focus on acting and responding to the burning issues 3 times a week. And it helped because it works with the visual inbox system. You can see it on the top right corner. And you don't need to send an email anymore asking for a request, but you just put it on the inbox and you will discuss it on certain times. And the amount of email within a few months really decreased. It's about structured communication and problem solving. And this is one of the patterns that really contributes to that. And by also adding other things, so focusing on a program board and system improvements, a bi-weekly meeting and a bi-weekly art sync about your system performance, really help to stay on track and remove the collaboration chaos. What a real success factor here was for you as an Obeya host is to add a content placeholder within the agenda of all Obeya attendees. So this is just a 1 hour block for everyone who's attending the Obeya, because as an Obeya host, you have a primary focus on an effective and agentic meeting, but sometimes key issues or problems need to be discussed and solved. And there's your challenge as an Obeya host. Okay, how do I deal with this? And since everybody knows that there's like a placeholder meeting in the agenda every week, you can say, okay, let's park this. It's important. Let's talk it there. And that really saves time. Because of these 3 art syncs, we could remove a lot of other sync meetings, unstructured and unneeded. And it really created time and focus. And the art syncs were way more effective.
Yeah, maybe to add to that, because I think there's two things that would also help, because for those different meetings, we had a strict routine coming from leading with Obeya. And that really helped in keeping the meeting short and effective. But also, when discussing, let's say, the program board, it's not a status update. We don't want a status update. We only discuss things which are not progressing as should. And if everything is going well, we don't need to discuss about it. Of course, when something is delivered, then of course we can share the success. That's important, of course. But we only discuss things where people might need help or where there's important information to be shared. And by doing this, I think it saved a lot of time. And we had time to discuss what's really important, and that's
strategy execution.
Indeed. Number 4, that's all about cascading and connecting strategy. We have this nice board now which we are using in our trains. We have the strategic direction, and we turn that into strategic capabilities. We had strategic capabilities for customer satisfaction, employee engagement was very important. In a financial, it's also important that we deliver services which are secure and compliant and reliable. And of course, also we want to learn as a train, we want to improve, and within the financial, also important to keep track on the costs. And we didn't think of them by ourselves. They were connected to the strategy of our IT department, which were connected to the strategy of Aegon NL. So in a way, it was already connected and cascaded. But by using visual management, you can really cascade and connect strategy throughout the complete organization, making sure that everybody can see how that strategy is connected throughout the organization, and making sure that you will reach to alignment across different departments, and that you facilitate a structured execution at all organizational levels of the strategy. So this is success factor number 4, and I think we also applied it really in real time, because on the IT level we also started to use Obeya with our IT delivery manager, and on that board, the board of the different trains within our departments came together, and we could see how everything was connected also on a strategy level.
The success factor here is, I think the example on the right on screen really tells it. It's about visual management. It's about a visual indicator. And it's so powerful because we process a lot of information. I was just telling about, or Ron was telling about, the strategies throughout the whole company. That's a lot of information. By just ordering the strategic teams, making it visual, it saves a lot of headspace to focus on the topic or the problem at hand. You can process visual information 60,000 times faster than you can process information on text. And that helps you, that visual management, by seeing, acting, and knowing together. And that helps you to focus on executing your strategy together.
Yeah, the combination of SAFe and Obeya offers you a really powerful approach to improve your strategy execution. We do that by visualization, by focus, by responsiveness and alignment. And in that sense, Obeya fosters also a culture of relentless improvement. Yeah. And we do so by providing a shared understanding of the strategic goals and facilitating collaboration. And yeah, I think that really helps in improving your strategy execution together also. And yeah, and if you reach that strategy execution together, I think that will result in business success.
Making winners of all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, on each level.